Hello everybody, it's Mike Patterson from Patterson Photography and First Choice Photo here in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. Welcome back to my studio. So today I want to give you five tips, and maybe one bonus one at the end, about how you can improve your photography. This is what I use all the time as a professional photographer. This is what I tell my students to do all the time to improve their photography. It doesn't take any money. All it does is take some of your time. So stay tuned and I'll tell you about it right after this. All right, tip number one, get out of your comfort zone. Start shooting stuff that you usually don't shoot. So if you're a photographer that has a studio or you're a professional photographer that works out of your house and you usually do baby portraits, find somebody that you know and take them out and do a headshot for a business. Or if you usually do headshots for businesses and you normally do baby portraits, find somebody that you know with a baby and take their picture. Now, obviously during COVID-19 and the lockdowns, we have to be careful about what we're doing there, but there's a lot of stuff that we can do. If you're normally a studio photographer, if you normally shoot within the confines of an enclosed space with lighting and so on and so forth that you can control, go outside and take some pictures outside where you don't have the same control on your lighting. If you normally shoot high-speed pictures of cars or planes, try shooting slower stuff like grass or trees or rocks. If you normally shoot wildlife, try shooting something different like waterfalls. Why? Because we get into ruts and we get to know our settings. In the studio, I can tell you with that light and this light over here, if I set them up in a certain way that I need to shoot at 60th of a second, at f8, at 400 ISO, and I got a perfect setup. But I change my lighting. Every once in a while, I'll pull a light out or I'll add a light just to challenge me. I'll go and grab a craft that I have and I'll try shooting the craft that I have and see how I do with that. I'll grab an old camera that I have and I'll try shooting with the old camera, or I'll try taking pictures of the old camera. I'll try different things to challenge me to get out of my rut. And that helps a lot because as people, we tend to fall into ruts and we tend to get into ruts and we just can't get out for nothing unless we force ourselves. So challenge you to do different things. Challenge you to stretch yourself. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Don't worry about the next fad that's coming out. Don't worry about the new equipment. Don't worry about anything like that. Just worry about challenging you and getting outside of your comfort zone. All right, tip number two. Okay, try that again. Tip number two, don't delete your mistakes. Everybody can take a good picture. They may have their camera on auto, they may have their camera on manual, they may have their camera on anything, and they'll still get a good picture every once in a while. But it's the bad pictures that you learn about. It's the bad pictures that you see that you were moving the camera when you took the picture, that your shutter speed was too slow, that you've done something stupid, and it's just that destroyed the picture. I learn more from seeing my students' bad pictures than I do their good pictures. I have students that come in constantly and show me their greatest hits. And it's like, this is my top 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever pictures. And they're great. And I say, okay, I can't really help you. And they're like, well, what do you mean you can't help me? Well, because you're perfect. Your pictures have no room for improvement. But all the other ones are bad. Well, how many other ones were there? Well, there was 1,000, 2,000, 10,000, 50,000. Well, then show me those ones and don't show me just your good ones. On your bad pictures, you can see what is bad. You can see what you did wrong. You can see all of that stuff. Whereas on the good pictures, you just go, hey, that worked out well. Don't know why, but it worked out well. Went out years ago and I shot some pictures at night, brought them back home and I was depressed. They were horrible, underexposed, blurry. There was just so many issues with them. I went out the next night, did some more. Horrible pictures. Went out the next night, did some more. Hey, they got a little bit better. Went out the next night. Hey, these are a lot better. Went out the next night. These are amazing. That when I took the first pictures that I had and I figured out what I did wrong, then the next night I didn't do those mistakes again. I did different mistakes. And then the following night, I didn't do the 2 previous nights' mistakes. I did new mistakes. And I learned from there. So don't delete your mistakes. Little side trail, a little bonus for you here. Strongly suggest if you're going out to learn photography, improve your photography, or do anything that is helping you to grow, that you get yourself a coil notebook and take it with you. Take notes of how you did those pictures. Did you use a tripod? Did you use a monopod? Did you use a flash? Did you use this? Did you use this? What were the settings? Was the camera, a flash on the camera, the flash off the camera? Did you use studio lights? Did you use this? Did you use that? Take those notes. And then on top of that, if you happen to have a cell phone with you, take some pictures of what you're doing to take the pictures. So for instance, years ago, I was out taking some pictures of some flowers. I knew I wanted to use the material for something, so I actually grabbed another camera and I took some pictures of my setup that I had, that I was taking pictures of this flower. I went back in, I looked at the picture and I went, oh, I didn't notice that when I was taking the picture. I looked at it and went, oh, look, I could have changed this. I actually added the picture to my notes and I learned more doing that than I did from the good pictures of that day. So keep your bad pictures and learn from them. Now, you may say, well, I have my digital files. I have metadata on my digital files. I can just go in, I can look it up, and I can see all my settings. Yes, that's true, and it does work. But I strongly suggest that you also add notes to it. Why? Because your notes will help you also. When you write it down, you'll learn it. When you make notes, you see stuff that you didn't see before. So keep your bad pictures, learn from your bad pictures. If you like this video, please click on the like button, which is the thumbs up button. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please click on the subscribe button and then click on the bell next to the subscribe button so you'll be notified when any new videos are uploaded. All right, tip number 4. I have to get through this really quick. I have something else I have to do. Tip number 4. Slow down when you're taking pictures. Now, I don't mean deliberately go slow if you're a professional photographer and that you're just going to shuffle along and charge them as much as you can for the stuff that you're doing. No. What I'm saying is that slow down and take your time to take the pictures you're going to take. There's no sense going out and going, picture time, picture time, no, there's one. Why are you rushing? What is the purpose? Especially if you are not under a time restraint. Why are you rushing? Because when you rush is when you goof up. When you rush is when you make mistakes. When you rush is when you forget. So slow it down and make sure that you're doing the correct things that you need to do to get the pictures that you want. So, for instance, a number of years ago, I took a group of people out to Waterton. We were doing a photo session or a photo seminar out in Waterton. In the 5 people I had in the group, there was one person that was done everything instantly. So we went to Cameron Falls. We're doing some pictures at Cameron Falls. Everybody's either holding their cameras nicely or they're putting up their tripod. And I look down the way and here's this guy leaning up against a tree. And I walked down to him and I says, did you have a problem? Did you have a question? Is there something that I can help you with? He said, well, I'm done. I said, no. I said, you don't understand. He said, I already shot a couple pictures. I said, no. I says, take your time. Well, he went and took a few more pictures. The next location, same thing. Next location, same thing. Next location, same thing. Well, he had come with another gentleman, and halfway through the day, this other gentleman came up to me. I was actually away from the group getting something out of my vehicle, and he says, now you see my problem. And I sort of went, oh, what do you mean? And he says, we've been friends for years, this guy and I. He says, we've gone out to different things. And he says, as soon as we get out, he's done. And he gets his camera out, he shoots a picture and goes, okay, let's go home. And he goes, no, 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 we just got here. Oh, no, I'm ready to go. Let's go to the next spot. Let's go. This guy was in a rush. He never got a good picture, ever. This guy says he's constantly coming out with me, but he's never had a picture that was any good. So slow down. Take your time. Take the time to check your camera settings. Take the time to say, hey, maybe if I step over here, it'll be better than if I step over here. Maybe if you step over there. Now, there's going to be times when you're going to have to shoot fast. But if you're comfortable at shooting at a good pace, then that time when you do have to shoot a little bit faster, you'll actually understand it and you'll actually be able to do a better job. So slow down when you're taking your pictures. Take the time to think it through. Tip number 4. Reshoot and reshoot and reshoot. And what do I mean by that? Do I mean take 5,000 pictures of a tree? Nope, that's not what I mean. Do I mean to go out and take 60,000 pictures at a wedding? Nope, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that pick something that you want to do. Let's say it's macro photography. Go out and get something that you can use to take pictures of. Maybe it's a plant. Maybe it's a piece of wood. Maybe it's a sculpture. Something that you can photograph. Spend some time photographing it. Spend some time learning about it. Spend some time seeing how your camera works and lighting works and so on and so forth. Then go and look at those pictures on your computer. And then a week later, a month later, whatever, go back and reshoot that same thing again, but trying different things. If you used a macro lens the first time, maybe try using a wide-angle lens. Or if you used a wide-angle lens, try a telephoto lens. Try different things and try reshooting. In the photography business, it's funny because we have our peaks and we have our valleys. We have our busy times and we have our slower times. And when it's slow, let's say during the holidays around Christmas time, and you don't have a lot of weddings, then when weddings do start in February or in March or whenever your first wedding is, it's always a challenge for the first couple weddings to get back in your stride. Why? Because you get set in doing things one way and you forget about how you do those things. But it's funny how many people, when they have taken a break from doing grad pictures, when they get back to doing grad pictures, they start lighting them in a different way. And they go, hey, I like this lighting a lot better than the way I did it last time. They start doing things with different backgrounds. Hey, I like this background different than the way I was doing it last time. They tried a whole pile of different things. Years ago, there was a photographer in town that actually broke all the norms for what the photographers were doing locally for years. And this photographer went out and started using telephoto lenses to do weddings. And they did most of their work, I'd say 90% of their work, using a telephoto lens. Well, other photographers all of a sudden thought, well, if they're doing it, I should try that also. Not that they were going to copy what they were doing, but they thought, well, I should try some different things. And all of a sudden, some of these photographers who had been in a slump for years, all of a sudden started getting some amazing work. Why? Because they tried reshooting the same thing again, but with different ideas. So if you have a piece of wood, shoot it today. Then tomorrow, shoot it in the evening instead of during the daytime. Then the next day, shoot it outside instead of inside. Try shooting the same thing over and over again, trying different things. You'll find that you'll not only improve your photography, but you'll see things in a lot better light. Pun intended. All right, point number 5. This is probably the scariest one, and this is probably one that people have the hardest job doing. Find somebody that you can ask to critique your images. Now, this is hard. It really is. Because a lot of times you ask a family member to, oh, can you critique my images? And they go, well, you're just an amazing photographer. You should do this full time. You're just the best that there has ever been. And you don't learn anything. You need to find somebody that will be honest. Not brutally honest to try ripping you to shreds, but they need to be honest. Honest enough that you can learn something from what they're telling you. Because if you don't get somebody that's honest, it's not going to do you any good whatsoever. all you're going to be doing is wasting your time, and you're either going to be torn down or you're going to be built up when neither is what you're looking for. You're looking for honesty. Now, I said none of these would cost you anything. This may cost you if you want to go this route, and that is find a professional photographer, whether it be a professional photographer that has a studio or a business, maybe a photographer that's at a camera club meeting, and that somebody that you can trust, and ask them to help you out. Ask them if you could pay them some money, and you could sit down with them, obviously when COVID's over, and go through your images, and they will critique your images honestly. It's scary. I have asked, when I was first starting out, a professional to help me, and he pretty much told me that he didn't have time, I wasn't worth it, and so on and so forth. I've had other people come in the studio with the exact same horror stories. And I've had people come in here saying, everybody I show my pictures to say they're perfect. And I look at them and go, those aren't perfect. They need some serious help. So you really have to get some from one side, some from the other. And don't take it as a personal attack. If somebody tells you your stuff is amazing, say, hey, thank you, and go on. Don't let it go to your head. If somebody says your stuff's the worst I've ever seen, ask them why. Take that and build on it. It's hard. It really is. And it's scary, believe me. But it'll help you a lot to know. Why does it help? Because when other people see your work, they may see the thing that you missed that's going to make so much more of a difference to your work. They may see something that you're doing wrong, which is easy for you to correct. I try to critique my own work. Sometimes I look at it, put it away, pull it out a month later, look at it again, and see if I see anything. I'll put it up on Facebook. I'll put it up on Instagram. I try to get people to give me comments from there. Now, believe me, when it comes to social media, your comments are usually this extreme or this extreme and never in the middle. You get people saying, you're the best photographer ever, you're the best photographer ever. And you get people saying, you shouldn't have a camera, you just destroy things. So you have to be very careful on social media. The other day, there's a site that I go on, and this person put up the worst picture you've ever seen. You couldn't imagine how bad this picture is. If I even tried describing it to you, there was nothing good about this picture. And they had 300 likes on this picture and comments saying, this is the best picture I've ever seen of this. This is the most amazing thing. I know photographers have taken much better pictures than what they have of this. I have seen them. This is not a great picture. So all they're doing is just getting fluff blown their way, and they're not learning anything. So try to find somebody that will help you. Try to take their recommendations, their comments to heart, but at the same time, not too much to heart, and move on from there. All right, so number 6, your bonus point. And this one will actually save you money. This one is actually one of the easiest things to do for many people and hard to do for other people. What is it? Use the equipment that you have. Don't go out there and buy new equipment because, oh, look, new equipment. Don't go out there and, oh, look, that's new equipment. Oh, look, there's new. Oh, there's new. Use the stuff that you have and use it till you know how to use it properly. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. Don't keep upgrading your stuff because, honestly, upgrading is not really beneficial. Sometimes there's benefits. Sometimes there's extra things you'll get. Many times there's nothing that you're getting other than new equipment. And as nice as new equipment is, it really doesn't help your photography skills that much. So, get a camera, get lenses, get a flash if you need a flash, get the tripod, get what you need, get the stuff, proper quality stuff that you need, and learn how to use that stuff. I'm currently videoing on a Canon 70D. Why a Canon 70D and not an 80 or a 90? Because a 70D is a good camera. It does what I want it to do, and I use it. And I know the camera inside and out. I know how to do this and that. I know how to flip this and that. I know what it does in this situation and that situation. I know if I'm going to shoot where the buttons are and what the buttons do and how it will respond to different light sources and so on and so forth. I have 5D Mark IVs. I know them inside and out as well. They're great cameras for certain things, and I would not upgrade them to other things because I know them and they do what I need them to do. Now, if you have a camera and it's an old camera and it's got problems with focus, or the lens isn't working, or if you have actual real problems, upgrade. If you're upgrading just for the sake of getting something new, you don't want to do that, because all you're going to do is get something new and have to learn it all over again. Several years ago, I had some students come into the studio. One of the students was actually really good, and I mean an amazing photographer. Had some really good equipment, and we went through the equipment in the class with the other students, and this photographer could take some amazing pictures. Bumped into the photographer about a month later, and they had a new camera. Bumped into them about 2 or 3 months later, and they had a new camera. Bumped into them a few months later, they had a new camera. The problem was they had the same problems with the most recent camera as they had when they came into my studio, because they had changed makers, they had changed models, they had changed everything, and they didn't understand their new camera because they barely understood their old camera. So if you can, stay with the equipment you have and learn that first. It will help you big time. You will get further ahead doing that than just upgrading for the sake of upgrading. So until next time, get out there and take some amazing pictures. If you like this video, please bang on the like button down below. Click on the subscribe button down there too if you have not subscribed to my channel, and click on the bell next to the subscribe button so that you can get notified when I upload new videos. Have a great day, and get out there and take some amazing pictures. We'll talk to you soon.